I'm actually incredibly excited about the future of India. I think India has more promise than any large country in the world. He really cares about India because he's pushing us to make significant investments in India, which it is something that we intend to do. And we're just trying to figure out the right timing. In a nutshell, it was a fantastic meeting with the Prime Minister. I'm tentatively planning to visit India again next year.
Signs of thaw are clearly visible. Tesla Motors CEO Elon Musk, who has been trying to drive the company's electric cars into India since 2019, said that the EV maker would set up shop in the country as soon as humanly possible. Musk said that while Tesla did not want to jump the gun on an announcement, it was quite likely that it would be a significant investment in the company's relationship with India. Musk's statements came after his June 20th meeting with Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who invited the American entrepreneur to explore investment opportunities in India during his state visit to the US. Citing an unnamed source, Reuters had previously reported that Musk would brief PM Modi on plans to set up a Tesla manufacturing base in India. These developments come after reports emerged in May that Tesla was considering a plan to manufacture its EVs in India, without insisting on its earlier demand that the import duty on completely built units be lowered first. On May 18th, a business daily had reported that a team from Tesla was having meetings with ministers and officials in the Prime Minister's office, and they had come with a plan for manufacturing in India. The report said that the government would offer import duty concessions on components required for domestic manufacturing, instead of allowing Tesla to import completely built units at concessional duty. The details of Tesla's proposed plans are yet to be known. Still, a key question arises. Will its Indian entry do for the country's nascent EV ecosystem what the likes of Maruti did for its auto component vendors? Over the preceding decades, Maruti Suzuki has been largely credited for the emergence of an Indian ecosystem of auto component manufacturers for internal combustion engine vehicles. Today, the industry, which comprises both large corporations and small and micro enterprises, accounts for over 2% of India's GDP and directly employs 1.5 million people. According to the India Brand Equity Foundation, the industry was valued at almost $57 billion in FY22 and is expected to stand at $200 billion by FY26. And the industry has been gearing up for the big shift to EVs in recent years. In fact, known names like UNO Minda are already working on EV-specific parts like DC converters, chargers, and charging cables. But India's EV component market itself is still nascent. According to market research firm P&S Intelligence, it was worth around $536 million in 2019 and is expected to grow at a CAGR of 22% between 2020 and 2030. This leaves a lot of room for new vendors to emerge, alongside established ancillary makers entering the field. Against this backdrop, will Tesla be the Maruti for India's EV component sector and lead to the emergence of more Indian vendors? Or will the company lean towards asking its existing vendors, most of whom are based in China, to set up shop in India?
So if you look in the past, this Maruti Suzuki, when they set up manufacturing plants in India, that had a huge impact on Indian ecosystem, especially for the component manufacturers, MSMEs, etc. And this had a second order effects. So even Tesla setting up factories in India will have a second order effects on vendor ecosystem. We should also remember that Elon Musk is a firm believer of open sourcing all their technologies. Even all the patents that they've developed have been open sourced. So when they come to India, it's highly likely that a lot of these technologies will be adapted by Indian manufacturers and Indian vendors ecosystem. So my belief is that the local ecosystem currently is not very well evolved, but when Tesla comes here, we will get evolved and rise up to the levels of Tesla and start supplying to them. We will also use that capability for our local manufacturers as well, for the Indian OEMs.
In Tesla's case, they're in the higher end of EV. So it will create a new segment of component manufacturers here in India. Some of their products actually may go to existing component manufacturers who are actually aggressively in this space. So both things are possible. And the ratio of what happens between the Indian companies and the Chinese companies really depends on Tesla and how comfortable they feel with the supplier. whatever it is, you will see an increase in component manufacturing in India.
At present, apart from Tesla's autopilot chips and algorithms, almost all other parts are reportedly made in China. Speaking of China, Tesla is also the largest customer of Chinese EV battery maker Contemporary AmpereX Technology Limited. Meanwhile, India doesn't have much in the way of EV battery manufacturing capacity, although the government and major business houses like the Tata Group are making efforts in this field. So, how will Tesla's entry help in setting up an EV battery ecosystem in India?
We do have a lot of researchers, both academic as well as corporate. People are coming up with new battery technologies. However, what we do not have in India right now is the battery manufacturing itself. All of this almost is imported from China. The coming of Tesla to India will start the initiation of battery manufacturing in India, because since Tesla is a giant OEM known across the globe, there will be a push from Tesla that we need to set up a battery manufacturing in India. Also, there will be a push from the government as well to Tesla that they have to set up a battery manufacturing here, because currently we have found lithium reserves in India, huge lithium reserves, and we cannot keep exporting this to foreign countries.
And Ford and GM have actually adopted that charger there for their systems. So at the high end, you'll see the charging infrastructure actually happening, and Tesla will drive the charging infrastructure. The second part is actually in the case of the battery. If they choose to come under the battery PMP, or the PLI under the battery, then they will have some norms for indigenization, and they'll have to follow that, etc. Right? And could at this stage they be included in that system? We don't know. It's for us, it's a question up in the air.
Ultimately, the extent of Tesla's boost to the EV ecosystem will depend on three factors. First, modifying the PLI schemes for auto and EVs and batteries with increased outlay and tweaked incentives, which may reportedly happen after the government and Tesla reach an agreement. Second, Tesla finding export success with its Made in India EVs, given the price-sensitive nature of Indians. Third, a big jump in the rate of four-wheeler EV adoption.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.
He's moving from employee to employer. Business Standard.